The sound of a hand striking a child face is something no mother ever forgets. It happened in 1 second, sharp and sudden, and before I could move, my mother-in-law Eleanor Whitfield had already slapped my 8-year-old son Noah across the face at our own Thanksgiving table. He hit the floor. His plate shattered. 15 adults sat frozen and silent while she screamed that he was not real family and needed to leave her house. I did not scream back. I knelt down, lifted my son into my arms, and walked to the table. Then I placed a single sealed envelope in front of Eleanor and said 6 quiet words. My lawyer is already involved. Her plate slipped from her hands and shattered on the floor. Nobody in that room understood yet what those words truly meant. My husband Michael stood frozen by the window the entire time. 38 years of being controlled by his own mother had trained him to freeze instead of fight. His sister Claire pretended to check her phone. His father Frank stared at his plate in silent shame. Only Noah mattered to me in that moment. His cheek was already turning red, and when I touched his face gently, he whispered that he was sorry, as if being struck was somehow his own fault. That single sentence broke something inside me forever. I carried him out to the car that night and drove home in silence. What none of them knew was that 3 weeks earlier, I had already discovered something Eleanor thought she had hidden perfectly. A trust fund created by Michael's late grandfather Walter meant equally for all 3 grandchildren, including Noah. Walter had died believing his money would protect every child in that family. Instead, 3 months after his funeral, Eleanor had quietly removed Noah's name from the trust entirely, calling him not of direct bloodline, and had begun spending the money on herself. A new kitchen, a luxury car. Private school fees padded far above the real cost. Over $400,000 gone. While my son received nothing at all, I had already hired an attorney named Diane Rhodes weeks before that dinner. That Thanksgiving had been my final test for that family. One last chance to prove me wrong. They failed completely, and that slap became the spark that lit everything on fire. What followed was a slow and complete unraveling. Frank, my father-in-law, secretly handed me an envelope Walter had left behind before his death, containing a hidden second trust meant only for Noah, along with private audio recordings Walter had secretly made of Eleanor over the years. In one recording, her own voice could be heard calling Noah a dilution of the family name. Claire came to me in tears soon after, revealing that Eleanor had forged her signature on a $200,000 mortgage without her knowledge. Michael, finally awake after years of silence, called his own estranged brother David for the first time in 23 years. A man Eleanor had erased from the family completely after he married a woman she disapproved of. At the deposition, Eleanor sat across the table in pearls and confidence, but piece by piece the evidence buried her. Bank statements, forged documents, her own recorded voice condemning a child for not sharing her bloodline. Frank walked in unannounced and announced on the record that he was filing for separation after 41 years of marriage, handing over hidden accounts he had traced under her maiden name. At trial, everything came to a head. The original trust with Noah's name clearly listed. The amended version with his name crossed out, receipts proving stolen tuition money and a stolen kitchen renovation. And finally, a video message Walter had recorded before he died, revealing a secret clause that automatically transferred control of the entire trust to me the moment Eleanor violated her duty. Under oath, Eleanor finally cracked and admitted the truth in open court. She had erased Noah simply because he was not her blood. The judge ordered her removed as trustee immediately, ordered full repayment with interest, added a $50,000 penalty, and referred her case to the district attorney for possible criminal fraud. Eleanor eventually had to sell her house to cover what she owed, moving into a small apartment alone, stripped of the control she had held over that family for 40 years. Months later, she showed up at my door with a wrapped gift for Noah, asking to see him and apologize. I took the gift, but I told her plainly that she had years to be his grandmother and chose cruelty instead every single time. I closed the door on her tears and did not open it again. 1 year after that Thanksgiving, our home looked completely different. Michael cooked a slightly crooked turkey with his own hands. Frank arrived healthier and lighter after his divorce. David flew in from Chicago with his wife and children, cousins Noah had never met before that day, reunited after 23 years of silence. 12 chairs filled our table that year, every single one occupied by someone who had actually chosen to be there. That night, as I tucked Noah into bed, he asked me what family really meant. I told him family is whoever shows up for you again and again, especially when it is hard. He smiled and told me he was happy. Two simple words that meant more to me than anything a courtroom could ever give back. I turned off his light, walked downstairs into my quiet kitchen, and for the first time in a very long time, I felt completely and finally at peace.